week 16. That's how far we've come into the season. Nearly halfway there, very close to potentially the title race maybe being decided or not. Relegation battle starting to shape up in a really big way, and holiday fixtures are coming fast around the corner. As usual, my name is Jose. I'm joined by a great casting crew. We got Austin Forbes, we got Maxi Gaming, we got Barca Boy 103 here with me as usual to preview and predict 5 of the biggest matchups coming up ahead at the weekend for game week 16. If you're brand new to the channel, do me a quick favor, like the video down below, subscribe to Goals TV for weekly Premier League content here on the channel. You're not going to want to miss it. Plenty of other good stuff there as well. All right, guys, let's check in on game week 15. We're going to spend maybe 30 seconds here because, frankly, it was a shit week. Shit week for everybody. I really don't think anybody had a stellar week. Let's check in. This is how we're looking, guys. Hafid barely negative, so it looks a little bit better. Max has fallen all the way off the wagon. It is what it is, kind of reminiscent of his team, to be honest, in United. And then we have Austin. Austin and I are like,
Austin, we're taking Jose.
Hey, chill, bro. It's one game. It's one game. All right,
bro. 2 O's and 5s. Come on now. Give Austin.
It's slightly impressive. Slightly impressive.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It's not as impressive as the fucking background this man's using on his webcam. By the way, who are you trolling, Hafid, in your background with Argentina being the Netherlands and PKs being there?
Nothing. Today's the 2-year anniversary of the Battle of Lucelle. That's all.
Oh my fucking god!
What a game!
What a game!
What a game! It wasn't great when I was watching it, but aftermath, when you win it, you reminisce.
Yeah, I can only imagine how stressed you were, to be honest, bro.
Man, that shit was crazy.
I wouldn't as an Argentina fan, yeah.
As an Argentina fan, as a diehard Argentina fan. Crazy, bro. Crazy. Look at Max, bro. I know he's got some words.
Outrageous. Hey, to each their own, but like, I don't get it. Like,
it is what it is, bro.
It's like me supporting Brazil. I don't know.
You can do it. Hey,
well, at least America's decent team. Canada has just been shy all my life.
USA suck. It's just
bro. Hey,
could you name me 5 Canadian players all time?
5 Canadian players?
Davies, and Jonathan David.
Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case.
Hey, bro. Davies not that whole team. I mean, he's pretty damn good.
I can name our whole team now because now we're decent. But, pre-2021, I could not name you one player apart from Dio.
Oh, no. Pre-2021, none of us have a shot.
I have fucking no idea, bro.
Man,
you're a little boy on TV.
Wayne De Rosario. That's probably like the furthest I could go with that shit.
When you're looking on TV, you're seeing Argentina cook Mexico. I mean, what else are you gonna do,
bro? Why you gotta bring Mexico to this shit? Anyway,
that's that was the game. 3-0 Copa America 2007. That was Messi chip.
Or you could look at the extra time winner in 06 in the World Cup. There was that. There's a bunch.
They won the World Cup 2 years ago. Crazy, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. All right, guys. Well, look, to make myself feel better, we're gonna jump into some trivia as we usually do. One question you guys can answer as a group. You guys saw the video last week down in the comments below. Let me know because it's probably the first time I've let the 3 of them answer the question collectively. And dude, Austin fucking bat-packed.
Now we gave Austin the push for that. That was
he deserved all.
He got all 3. He didn't need us.
Yeah, it was insane. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch that shit. All right, it's down on our channel below, so go check that out. Crazy response to that trivia question, but another question with multiple responses. So be ready. Let's jump in. These 2 players are tied for the most through balls in the Premier League this season.
What the?
Come on, bro. Think about
Bruno,
it.
Bruno and
does Bruno even have any successful through balls in the final third? That's my question.
He has. He definitely has at least the most.
They just can't. I just can't finish anything they get.
Attempts 70 at least successfully complete. Probably.
I'm gonna say Bruno and.
Austin, what are you thinking, bro? You carried last week. What are you thinking?
Maybe mid-table player, like an Omar Hutchinson of Ipswich, something like that.
It's got to be like a number 10-ish.
Yeah, that's why I picked Hutchinson.
I was thinking like Palmer.
Nah, Jose hates Palmer. He wouldn't put him up here.
I do hate Palmer.
Yeah, he would not do that.
He's not doing that.
That's what he wants
covered. The reverse psychology.
I just think he's kind of overrated, to be honest. But like, he's good at penalty kicks. I'll give him his flowers there. He is a fantastic PK taker.
I'm gonna go Palmer and Madison.
I'm gonna
That's
go Bruno and Emil Smith-Rowe.
Not a bad shout either. Hop and go hipster, bro. Give me some mid-table teams.
I'll go with who's the 10 for Villa? Like John McGinn and
Nah, they have like 3 different 10s.
They really
Semenyo.
do, bro. It's too many.
John
They
McGinn
don't
and
really have
Semenyo.
it.
Those are my 2.
John McGinn and who?
Semenyo,
Semenyo's a good shout.
Bournemouth.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, good shouts all the way around, to be honest. The 2 players, and you guys were onto it a little bit. It's Cole Palmer and Yuri Tillemans.
Hey,
And you got the
Tillemans-
Villa part right. You got the Villa part
Hey,
right.
that's-
Yeah,
that's a-
Tillemans is
That's a high point in
guy.
my books. I'm taking that.
yeah, they're tied at the top. 8 completed.
Can we
through
take
balls.
him off the screen?
Nah,
Bro, you love Yuri. Who doesn't love Yuri, man?
He scored one of the greatest goals I've ever seen in my life. One of the happiest times I was ever in my life.
Just to
And
get
then he
relegated.
proceeded to do nothing and get us relegated.
On a
Man
contract
played-
year, too.
Man
That's
played
crazy.
for a whole year, knew he was leaving for free, and still just put in mid performances for like the
Just
last
phoned
year.
it in. Just phoned it in.
All he did was eat because he's freaking like 220 pounds.
Yeah. But with that said, balling for Aston Villa now. It's got to make you feel good, Austin. All right, man. Let's move on to our first preview of the week. Like we said, 5 juicy matchups. Let us know how you feel about your predictions for these matchups down in the comments below. All right, man. First one. Honestly, I say that, and then like going into this one, not maybe the greatest matchup on paper, but I think 2 teams in very interesting spots. Look, man, Arsenal's being slammed right now on the timeline. Absolutely getting fried by everyone.
All I'm gonna say is gonna go back to last week when I asked you that question. If Arsenal finish 4th, don't win a single trophy. Yeah, you guys are playing great football, but this great football fucking
Are they playing great football? Yeah,
I mean,
of course, open play goal.
sorry, competitive football, challenging for the title.
Alright.
But like, since when is Arsenal a challenging for? I guess they kind of always been challenging for the title type of team. But what is your what is your? I mean, yeah, United is completely fucking down bad.
The Invincible
but-
season, apart from the season when Leicester won it and they were kind of in and about, they've not been in it apart from the last 2 years. So 3 title challenges in.
I know,
20
but
years.
that's what I'm saying. It's like, is Arsenal always going to be known as just the title challenging team? Like, is that it?
Pretty
Like,
much, yeah. That's just the reputation.
Maybe.
Don't
no
lie.
Champions League.
I mean, here's the
Zero
thing, right?
Champions Leagues.
They could get a lucky run in the Champions League if the draws really in their favor.
One FA Cup win for Arteta. Like, I understand there's no other
COVID.
manager. They're glorified COVID FA Cup. But what? Yes, your team is also young, but I mean, this was supposed to be the year you guys were supposed to win. I said at the beginning of the year, City was not going to be the City that we know. Like, at some point, they're going to have to fall off, whether it's going to be a shit ton of injuries, which happened. Teams are starting to figure out how to play against Pep, or just winning 4 in a row is almost damn near impossible in the Premier League. So,
Not anymore. It's been done.
Yeah, it's been done, but 5
Yeah,
is
it's been done.
fucking more impossible at this point.
But
So, yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Arsenal and like we're talking about City and how bad they've been. Arsenal are 2 points above them. That's it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think both teams
mean,
have been bad.
that-
I will say this, though. You just said it, Austin. City are 2 points below us. How do they escape the scrutiny that Arsenal seems to deal with week in and week out? And maybe it's because they've been previously champions for so long. Sure. But I don't remember a drop-off like this with a team as experienced as City ever across any league. I mean, maybe somebody could fact check in the comments. I guess you could say maybe Real Madrid, right? Because of what they did last season to what they're doing now, even with adding the firepower of Mbappe. But that's neither here nor there. I think with Arsenal, man, go back to Max's question. I would almost say there's a reason Max didn't ask me this last season or the season before, right? I look at what's happening to Arsenal now, and I feel like fans forget that. Like I see so many fans, Arsenal fans specifically saying, why can't we play football like we've done the last 2 seasons? Well, my first question back is, do you think teams are playing us the same way they've played us over the last 2 seasons? I don't think so. I've never seen teams honestly play us the way that they're playing us now. I think honestly, Chelsea might have been the bravest team to have played us so far. City was City, like for the most part, they possessed and controlled. And when we went down to man, I mean, they dominated all the ball at that point. United was like a close second behind Chelsea in terms of being brave enough to open themselves up and actually go at us. Almost any other game we've played, even in Champions League included, Inter, there were so many spells against Inter in the Champions League where they just like set up shop and begged us to break them down. Right. So I just think it's a new challenge that this young Arsenal side has to overcome. Like I said before, I don't think we're regressing. I don't think we're falling off of what we were of the last 2 seasons. People can point to the XG, the open play, whatever, right? I don't give a shit about that. I've never been a stat merchant. If you have to have FOTMob pulled up to have an argument with me, I think it says more about you than it does me or any Arsenal fan. At the end of the day, I feel like, and this is the same skid we had last season. It was right at this time. The holiday fixtures. We lost to Fulham, lost to West Ham, lost to Liverpool. Those 3 in a row. Before went to Dubai, came back, and the entire season we went undefeated the rest of 2024. So yeah, that's fine. But no matter what, and again, I think outcome-based thinking, like Hafid's level of thinking, produces the most asinine takes in football by far.
We just play for vibes in it. That's just all it is.
No, not playing for vibes. I'm saying your take, not what my team's doing. Your specific take and read on the game.
I mean, y'all need a 2-week holiday.
Hold on. It tells me that you don't watch the games. You go to FOTMob, check the stats, and produce a trolley take in response. Yes or no?
Well, to be honest, I don't really watch Arsenal because I don't want to see a corner kick goal, 1-0, 2-0 victory. You know,
were you saying that were you saying that beginning of the season or last season? Were you even saying that 2 weeks ago? No.
Yeah, because like this weekend, if we're doing the game that we're previewing, Arsenal Everton, it's Tony Pulis Spanish version versus Sean Dice. I don't think it's going to be attractive to anyone whatsoever. It'll probably be Arsenal 1-0 with some.
How much do you want to bet we win more than 1 goal? How much do you want to bet right now on the show?
I'm not putting that much faith in Deitch.
That's your boy. That's your boy.
I was about to say, I would even do that. They're like Arsenal's home. Like,
yeah. If it's at Goodison Park, come back to me at the Goodison Park.
If you're gonna chat shit about Sean Dyche versus Tony Pulis, give me a bet.
Why the fuck would I put money on the line for Arsenal?
The same reason you'd open up with that asinine comment? I don't know.
Because they're shit. I mean, win a trophy.
They're not shit, bro. No team in top 4 is shit, no matter how badly you want them to be.
So if Arsenal finish underneath City, then what happens? Because City's having this, catastrophe, 7 games in a row.
I'll tell you when it happens. And then, if you want to talk hypotheticals to make yourself
like Austin mentioned, it's only 2 points. Only 2 points. It's not to play each other, of course. But had City just move mad in the market and then sign players in January.
We'll be waiting for City at the Emirates. We'll be waiting for Liverpool at the Emirates.
Oh God!
When's the last time we lost to a big side, 6-side, Hoffman? You said it yourself. It was the most important stat, right?
Yeah.
That's all that I'm saying. Right? It's like everyone's so quick to discount Arsenal. And I almost wish, again, right? I'm not saying deflect away from these conversations. They're tough to have as an Arsenal fan. They are. But there's no way in hell I've lost faith in Arteta. There's no way in hell I've lost faith in this team. I think it's still missing some pieces. Sure, but we've talked about that already. I don't think it's even a striker. I think it's a left winger that we need. By far.
Well, now it's level because Martinelli's been sticking to Gaffo for a season and a half. But
it wasn't even him yesterday, though. Everyone points to Martinelli for being offside, and that's why you're pointing it to it because all of the conversation on the timeline's been around him. Dude, he featured for 20 minutes.
He's been stinky since that first title charge.
I mean, I feel like Martinelli I don't think Martinelli has been the best.
I know, but again, right? He's been this way for over a year and a half, and Hafid brings it up now. So, and I know it's been brought up because everyone seems to be talking about it, but no one's talking about Trossard and how god awful he was for 60 minutes in that game. It's fucking terrible. When Martinelli came on, it was the first time I saw someone take a defender on that left side down the wing to the byline and actually try to cross it in. It was the first time. Like Trossard didn't do anything for 60 minutes, but no one talks about that because Trossard scores goals, I guess, when it matters. Sure, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like you can kind of, unless you watch the game, it's hard for me to take your argument seriously because you're kind of just running off of stats or a hypothetical. What if this happens? What if this happens? I'll let you know when we get there. I'll let you know. But right now, I haven't lost faith in this team. I think the title charge is still technically on, but it's difficult. Very, very difficult. We had to win that game against Fulham. And even a draw away is not a bad result. Doesn't matter where you go in the Premier League. But it's just not what we needed. We needed 3 points. So it would have been a massive, massive opportunity considered City dropping points and considering that we could have piled the pressure on Liverpool when they have to replay that Everton game after the new year and probably in a mix of congested, schedule, right? That would have been just considering what happened last year when Everton upset Liverpool. Who knows? That could have happened again.
Guess who predicted that, by the way? Oh, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. Hoffa did predict that. So props there, 100%, bro. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. Am I right?
True. But this clock is right more times than not.
Fair enough. But look, guys, I think Arsenal, Everton. Look, I mean, we'll continue to have these conversations. Let us know in the comments down below how you guys feel about it, especially the Gooners in the chat, right? Like, if you feel like this is it for Arteta, it's make or break. He has to absolutely win the league this season. Let me know why you feel that way. I'm really, really curious. I personally don't, but
just win something.
Yeah, a trophy. I agree with that. Like, I think he should win a trophy this season. 1000%. It should be there. But if it's not, I'm always of the belief that a problem remains a problem unless you have a viable solution.
I think the only reason why Arteta would survive trophy this season, like you mentioned the last show, is the lack of better or equal options on the market or something that's gettable. Like a Xabi Alonso is probably going to, if he doesn't go to Madrid, or I don't know. Like I mentioned, there's no man on the market. I think that's what really will keep Arteta in the job more so than playing style and mindset and stuff like that. If they go trophyless, I think even a Carabao Cup
on him though. I'll be honest, that's an indictment of him. Sorry, Austin, really quick. I think you're right, Hafid. Like, the biggest indictment from my perspective of Arteta is believing too much in unproven players, I guess you could say, to an extent, right? Like, I know you don't want to spend a lot of money. Maybe that's a little bit of the Wenger brushing off on him as a manager. But like, this was the criticism of Wenger in the latter years. If you guys remember that era, he would never fucking spend. Like the Aubameyang deal completely threw me for a loop. Did not see it coming. Mesut Ozil, same shit. Like, it blew my mind. Even the Alexis deal, despite the fact that like we had just gone after Suarez at that time and then didn't get him, and then we pivoted to Alexis. Like, he just in the latter years never really spent, and it felt like he was almost intentionally trying to tank the team. It's like, what are you doing? We need to be competitive. Like, we have to buy proven talent. So anyway, Austin, what were you gonna say?
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I mean, I get what Hoffin's saying with Arteta being let go, but that's not Arsenal, and maybe it's because Wenger was there forever, and I mean, they had certainly, I think, worse years than they have right now, and they kept Wenger. And I mean, Adu's gone now, so
at the time the mindset of Arsenal was different. They were just trying to stay afloat. Top four is your objective. Now they kind of want a little bit more.
About top four.
Yeah,
but it's like, okay, well, ownership, is it ownership or is it sporting director? Because if ownership's just happy with top four, then I don't think Arsenal's going to change much.
Maybe Arsenal
I really don't think they'll change, guys. Look at how often some of these other teams are switching managers and like having to start over and rebuild. Do you not think there's something very valuable about continuity? About
I think there is
continuously building.
But I'm not saying that Arsenal, like, oh, if they don't win the title like this year, they're never going to. Like, it's still a really young team. We've said it before. It's still a young team. They're still, like, if City is truly falling off, then, I mean, we just don't know. There's a lot of unknowns. It's a lot of future stuff. But it's just, how long can Arsenal and Arteta sustain this level of, I don't want to say disappointment, but it almost is disappointment, that they just haven't taken that next step as quickly as maybe you would think. So it's just a matter of how long do they do that for. Maybe they do make a difference, but it's got to be a sporting director, or it might be ownership. It might be the Kroenkes. We just don't know.
No, I think it's going to be sporting director. I'll be honest. I don't even know how much say Edu had. I know he gets a lot of credit for what Arsenal built. I really don't know how much say he had. I think I heard a lot of rumors saying Arteta was very, very heavily involved with just about every transfer that we brought in. So,
and usually the managers want to, because that was a big deal with Rude and getting him to Leicester, is that he wanted to stay in transfers over our scouting director and our guy that's head of transfers. Yeah. So that it does happen. It's not a crazy thing. So. That's an inside thing. We just don't know.
I really hope we do get I hope the rumors are true. I hope we do get the sporting director from Real Sociedad. I think that his player ID has been fantastic. I think there's been some absolute ballers who have come to that club. I'm also a big La Liga fan, and I feel like it's almost very. What's that?
They're all Basque players, though. It's not really like him identifying talent. It's more so look at what
so you would say Isak and Sorloth weren't great additions?
Well, Sorloth's moved about 8 times. Sure, yeah, Isak's a good one, but like most of them are just players that he's watching the academy. Okay, yeah, you're the best out of the bunch. Get up to the first team and let's see.
Yeah, bro. No, I'll point to Sorloth deal. The Sorloth deal, to me, everybody thought it was a bust. When he went from Leipzig to Sociedad that first season, everybody thought it was a bust. Like he wasn't doing anything. And then you give him a little more time, and it's worked out, right? So much so that he
had to send him on loan.
After, though.
Had to send him on loan too.
Yeah.
Did he leave the season after though?
I mean, yeah, but what, to Villarreal?
Yeah, I think for like 14 million.
No, he went to.
No, he went somewhere else first.
He went to Trabzon.
He's been like 8 clubs, to be honest, bro.
That's my point. It's just like I think, like you said, he's a good talent IQ, yeah. But when you look at like a club like Real Sociedad, Athletic, where they heavily, even more than Barcelona and Ajax, the well-known academies prioritize youth mostly because that's how their models are built upon. It's a bit. I think it'll be a risk for sure, but that could pull off. But I think talent IQ is like a bit of an asterisk behind it, I would say.
That's fine. And look, maybe it's exactly what Teta wants, right? I mean, it's not just them. It's Mikel Merino. Yes. There's the Spanish connection there. Martin Odegaard before he came to Arsenal, right, was balling at Sociedad. I think that there's a lot of opportunity with someone like that, someone who's just not born and bred Arsenal to an extent. So a fresh mind can change a lot, and I really hope that that's the direction that we go in. Even if it's not the Sociedad one, I just hope that we go with someone who thinks differently than Arteta, can kind of give him some fresh ideas. But anyway, I think with this game, Arsenal will bounce back, and I don't think bounce back just on the scoreline. I think you can look at that and be like, yeah, sure, they could get 13 corners and score 4 of them and win 4-0. I'm expecting for. It would be, and I would take it every day of the week. But at the end of the day, I'm also expecting the level of play to be stepped up. And keep in mind, I'm not saying it's down right now. In fact, if you watch the games, the only thing that's not happening is finishing from chances in and around the box, because that's how we're getting double-digit corners every game. It's not by forcing the corner kicks. It's by being in the attacking third.
They have done a little bit of that, though.
Box. What's that?
They have forced a bit of some corners. I've seen some clips.
Yeah, maybe, but it's not the go-to plan. It's usually when what we're trying is not working, and that's again, right? I believe it's not a striker issue. I think if Kai had someone on the left who could create more opportunities for him, Arsenal would be in a better position. But
so if you win 1-0 by like a corner goal in like the 7th minute, and it's kind of the same thing that you've been seeing recently, would you be concerned, or would you be like, you know what, just keep it going until it fails, and then you can look at the bigger picture? As an Arsenal fan.
I would be a little more concerned, but I would be concerned in a different way. I think because no matter what, there's no fixing the team we have now unless we do something in January. I would probably be pushing a lot more for something to happen in January to just mix things up. Because at this point, like, we're thin. Like, it's like we have ESR or Fabio Vieira or somebody. Reece Nelson been waiting on the bench to help like change the games. Like, we got Nwaneri. And as long as he's 17, 18 years old, I think that we'll only trust him so much. So it really is up to the starters right now to just figure this shit out, be more creative from open play, and help. And I think that tweaking some things too, he needs to just stop doing that. I don't want to see Party at right back anymore. I don't. Like, throw Lewis Miles Skelly out there. I don't care. I don't want to see a holding mid who kind of knows how to play right back. Like, I don't need to see that.
That's why you won't see Nwaneri until players are injured or out of form. That's how it is for all big clubs. I said it so many times.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Same way how Mainu got his chance at United.
Fair, but I also believe that you play your best players in their best positions. Mm-hmm. Party is easily our best holding mid. Put him in the fucking 6. I don't want to see him anywhere else. If he's injured, put Rice there. Like, I don't want to see that anywhere else. Like, no more experiments. We're not in a position where we can't experiment. We need simply results.
I think Arteta thinks about it. It's like FIFA. Like, Party is like ranked an 8 out of 10 as a CDM, but a 7 out of 10 at right back, whereas the other right back you mentioned is like a 4 out of 10 bronze. So you're like, I'd rather have the 8 out of 10 at right back than put like a 7.5 out of 10 in midfield, kind of like a half downgrade. That's how he reads the game. That's how Love, manages.
I think he just thinks highly of his players, and like I
think it's both. He thinks highly of his players, but he doesn't at the same time because he doesn't have any trust in some of these players. Yeah, so he's got to stick to what he's been doing and what kind of worked in the past, but it's just not working. So like, you can't just have him playing at right back. You need him at the 6. Like, that's his best spot. So he should have a little bit more trust. Like, you shouldn't be doing this anymore experimenting. Like, this is, like you said, this is not the time to be experimenting.
Yeah, it's not. You can experiment, in the preseason. You can experiment even when you have a dramatic lead at the top of the table. Sure, mix shit up. I don't care. Like if you're Liverpool, mix shit up. But like Arsenal, you don't do that. Like City, you don't do that right now. Right now, you just got to get back in contention with the top of the table. So yeah. Look, I think with this game, all I really want to see is, of course, a win, but at the same time, just more courage, more bravery in the attacking third. Quit trying to be so pragmatic and straightforward. It's predictable. Let's be okay with the fact that sure, we might try some things that don't go our way, and maybe we go down 1-0, but it's fucking Everton. We can come back into this game. Okay, so that's personally what I want to see. And honestly, if Ethan gets more than 10 minutes, it'll be a huge fucking W. like that. That's how I'm looking at it. Like he needs to get more than 10 minutes. But yeah, I think we're probably all the Arsenal boat. Am I right?
Oh, for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but I will throw this in there. Everton, all 4 of their goals today came on set pieces.
Oh, they're cooking. Sean Dyche, can you do
imagine
something?
like a 4-2 where all the goals are corners. It'd be fucking insane, bro.
Yeah.
Sean Dyche has something for me. I can feel it in my balls.
I'm
not gonna.
I can also see this being like a 1-1 draw. I don't know.
I can see this being a 0-0.
Put it down. Put it on your pick on it.
Hell no.
Nah, because if Arsenal lose draw, it's a win-win.
I'm not.
See, y'all just think about tactics. I've been doing this since the preseason.
I hate picking
just,
draws. Like I do hate picking draws.
No balls. All right. So we're gonna go. We're gonna go Arsenal all the way around.
I'm down bad. I need points. So
I just need something to go our way.
But if they draw or lose, I'll happily not have the points. But
yes, sir.
I do need the points.
I should get a perfect.
Hey,
week.
you're not
I don't even
losing
care if I
any
win
more
this
ground.
season. I should get a perfect week. That's my sole intention right now. All right, guys. Everton all the way around. Let's move on. We've talked about that one enough. Let's go to Liverpool and Fulham. Okay. Liverpool, obviously the game was postponed, the Merseyside derby. I didn't see if they already rescheduled that game or not.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
So we'll see what part of the second half of the schedule that comes into. That'll be very telling for the title race, depending on City and Arsenal and Chelsea kind of continue to bridge the gap. But with that said, Fulham, right? Pull at home at Craven Cottage, pull off the draw against Arsenal. Fantastic goal by Raul Jimenez. And you look at whether or not they can try and mimic some of the chaos they created at Anfield. Different ask, right? A taller order, if you will. But I still think something's possible. It's just a matter of what version of Fulham we get. We've said it so many times on the show, right? What version of Fulham shows up this week? Kind of like Brighton. Like what version of Brighton shows up this week? I don't know. Do we trust Fulham on the road?
Didn't Fulham give them a game last season? I feel like it was like 3-2. I think they were up 2-0 and Liverpool came back, something like that.
Yeah. Let me ask you: were they preparing for this? Because Harry Wilson, who has been coming off the bench, don't get me wrong, but both him and Andreas Pereira came off the bench against Arsenal.
Well, Pereira he's been benched for a specific reason. He's moving mad in the media talking about how he wants to leave Fulham in the future. So
Pereira?
Yeah.
And
the Brazil media.
Yeah, he said that he said that he got an offer from an Italian club,
something like that.
But why would
Italian
you say
club?
that
And then he said that I would have left, but the transfer didn't go through. Like word for word, he said I would have left, but the transfer didn't go through.
Bruh.
Yeah, so it was 4-3 last season this game, and Fulham were up 3-2
at Anfield.
Yeah, and then Endo and Arnold scored twice in 2 minutes. I remember this game.
Allison's coming back. He'll be back do they play tomorrow or Wednesday?
To be honest, I don't know how big of a change that is. Kelleher's like a top 5 keeper for me, I think.
Apart from that howler he had against Newcastle, he's been quite decent, to be fair to him.
No, but it's not even that. It's just more that how fresh will Allison be coming back?
Well, and also
he's gonna play midweek in the Champions League first, so he'll have some sort of game time before then.
And yes, shot stopping Kelleher's been good, but and this is maybe another thing we don't know. How much chemistry does he have with that back line versus Allison fitting in, organizing that back line and how they respond to him? That could be a game changer.
Yeah.
Not like they're struggling right now, but
yeah.
This is an interesting, almost trap game material. I'll be honest. Like Fulham, I mean, bro, if they would have beat Arsenal, right? If they just would have done that, they would have at the time when the game took off, they were 6th. They would have been top 5 in the league. Now they're back in 10th because of just how the middle of the table is kind of shaking out all the way around. But I'm also very, very fine margins. Very fine margins. Like between like the top 4 and let's say like 12th, it's like maybe 2 games separates everybody. So
5th and 13th is 2 games.
yeah. So it's crazy, right? Fine margins. I still think Fulham will make things complicated. I'm wondering if Raul's going to be able to do this against Virgil, right? Even if Konate is not back from injury yet, like, can he muscle off Virgil and really get, the opportunities that he needs to put a goal in the back of the net? Will ESR be able to break through that kind of, I would say, just very, very hardworking midfield between Gravenberch, Soboslai, McAllister? Like, can he find a way to just like create room and spaces in that midfield? And then can they stop Mo Salah? That's the biggest question, right? He seems inevitable. He could be having a shit game all the way around, and then he just pops up out of nowhere.
Hey, talking about a contract. He at least got an offer.
Is that offer for real or is that a rumor?
I thought
apparently it's offer. And apparently they offered him and Virgil a
2
new
years?
deal, and then Trent they're like in negotiations for.
Trent, I mean, if Trent leaves, like I said, I don't think it's the end of the world. But keeping Mo and Virgil would be massive for Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Massive for Liverpool. So, all right, guys, prediction time, man. We kind of previewed it enough. I think at Anfield it's going to be a very difficult task for Fulham. Who wants to go out on a limb here and say that there's going to be a draw?
No, I've been saying, I'm not betting against Liverpool until the wagons fall off. So,
and the thing is that every time like a mid-table side like Fulham get a big result against a big team, they tend to crumble in other games.
Yeah, I hate that.
I've never seen like a team get a big result against the top 16. Then
I think keep it consistent.
Yeah.
Because I think, like, if we talk about like what Fulham are we going to get? Okay, we got a decent Fulham last time. Are we going to get another decent Fulham? But more often than not, you'll get a bad Fulham. Like, rarely is it back to back. So I just think
the thing is, they have the talent on paper to do it. I think somewhat consistently. I don't know why they don't. I feel the same way about Brighton to an extent. They're a little bit younger, but it's like I just don't understand the inconsistency. I guess I wish they had more.
Just
of
their
it.
level at the end of the day.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But look, I mean, I'll be right there with you guys. I will back Liverpool, but I feel like I'm gonna be so pissed if this is a draw. Well, I won't be. I'll be happy for the title race purposes, but I'll be super pissed that I can't bridge the gap on Hoffman at all because we're all gonna pick the same fucking team again.
Well,
you got to worry about me, bro.
Hey, easy. I'm going for the top of the table, Austin. I'm going for the top, bro.
Well, you got to get to second first.
Hey. I like that. I like that energy. Well, look, bro. I mean, if I wanted to take a flyer on this one, I guess I could, but
go draw.
I'll go further.
Do it.
Everybody does it.
Put
your balls on the table. Shut up, Hoffman. Liverpool all the way around. Says the man who's never put his balls on the table. Except for the Brighton game. I'll give you that one.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big one for Hoffman. All right, in a negative way. All right, guys, let's move on to Austin's favorite team talking all that shit. Nottingham Forest hosting Aston Villa. Austin, how's it feel, bro? Seeing Forest top 5.
It ain't gonna last long. I'm sitting here.
I've been saying that, bro. I've been
saying
that all
year.
year.
For a few weeks now.
Yeah, but they've beaten United before.
When's the last time they beat United? Before this past weekend, when was the last time they beat United?
Everyone's beating United.
Last year.
They haven't beaten us at Old Trafford in like 300 years, bro.
Did they draw last year?
Since medieval times, I believe.
I thought they won at Old Trafford last year.
No, I think it was almost draws 1-1. I think we won 2-1. I may be wrong. It was either we won 2-1 or it wasn't.
But was it at the game where Forest scored like 2 goals in like the first 5 minutes?
He is correct. Yeah. Final day of the new year is 2-1 Forest in the Premier League against United at Old Trafford. Dominguez and Gibbs White with the goal. And Rashford
Dominguez, I haven't heard that dude in a minute either, which is kind
of crazy. Rashford is his disgusting PR compilation goal.
He does have disgusting PR because honestly, bro, Rashford is at
might be the most overrated player of our generation.
I'm now on that train with Hoffman. I think I was always
Foden might be up there the way he's going.
Yeah. Oh, Foden.
Yeah, Foden's been like 4 months. Let's say it's been like 8 years.
We'll talk about City and United here very shortly, but in regards to this game specifically, we had Villa win, right? I mean, Southampton. It fucking is what it is. Honestly, a better performance by Southampton considering they just got their asses whipped 5-1 the game before that. Mm-hmm. So we think about going to the City ground, right? I don't think anybody can look and see how good Villa has been away this season. I think this will still be a very stiff test. I think how they choose to go about guarding Chris Wood and trying to kind of stop some of the pace they have in that attacking midfield is going to be the key for Villa. I don't trust Aston Villa anymore, guys. I'm not going to lie. I feel like I was really.
They can't score goals.
I don't know why not.
They can't.
Like, why
they
not
can't
though?
They might. They might.
What happened to the Duran hype, by the way? I haven't heard about him in like 3 months.
He fell off. I mean,
he started against Southampton.
What
too.
did I tell you guys? Don't rush to conclusion with these jammy strikers that pop up for like 2 months. You gotta wait and see. And,
Duran scored.
I mean, bro, but he's a substitute. I wouldn't say it's like
No, but I'm seeing him being linked to like Arsenal and this and United for like 50 million after like a couple of good sub appearances. Like,
bro, he had Barcelona links. Duran legitimately had Barcelona.
El Nacional. I mean, Max's mother's probably more reliable than El Nacional. Like that's just like.
It's because he's South American, bro. At the end of the day, that's why.
Yeah.
But I mean, good striker, good player. But yeah, I mean, like coming off as a super sub and doing that consistently for months on end, it was probably never realistic to begin with. But they have Ollie Watkins, and look how great he was last season, and is still technically in his prime at whatever it is, 28, 29 years old. Still has it. Should.
I feel like Ollie Watkins is the only player for Villa that's been playing well.
What about Morgan Rogers? There was so much hype around that dude too.
He's inconsistent.
I haven't to Jaden Trojan. This guy was like with Barcelona for like 2 weeks. Never heard about him this season either.
But I don't like other than scoring. Like what do they actually really like? What do they need? Like what's the issue with Villa? Because I honestly, is it Onana?
To be fair, they are dealing with some key injuries. Like Onana's been out for like a hot minute now. The center back as well. I think
he was back in the subs. They have another guy. I forgot who else is out, but they have another guy out who might be coming back.
I feel like they're missing a winger as well. Who are their wingers? Because I just
Jacob Ramsey might be back.
Yeah, because they just keep playing like McGinn on the wing and Ross Barkley on the wing.
Leon Bailey is injured too.
So
yeah, they barely play like their actual winger in Village.
Here's the thing. This season, Leon Bailey has 0 goals, 2 assists.
I'm not surprised.
McGinn has 0 goals, 1 assist.
God damn, he scores a lot in the Champions League. That's probably why. Keep seeing that.
Rogers has 4 goals, 2 assists.
Yeah, I mean,
and Tielemans probably has 3 goals. I think. Let's see. He has 0 goals, 4 assists because he scored his goals in the Champions League.
Yeah.
They have not been scoring in the Prem. That's their biggest issue.
But I think the reason that is, like, it's so weird to say because he's technically a defensive mid, but I do think Douglas Luiz was just bigger to that side than most people realize. Like, I really believe that.
I think
and it's a damn shame because he's not even playing for Juventus.
I know, that's crazy.
He's going out. Actually, they said that they might loan him back out to
Villa. Yeah.
Shit, Villa could use him right about now, bro. Villa, like, literally, I think Douglas Luiz played so well. He had us believing that John McGinn was like, I mean, he had Andre believing he was in team of the season, but I would say that John McGinn is like a better midfielder than we all thought he was. Like, I honestly believe that just seeing those two run around the pitch together and how they were able to kind of blow past some of these other teams on their path to a top 4 finish. So I don't know.
I saw an interesting tweet, and I kind of want to get your take. It's from John Percy, who's a very reliable guy in the Midlands. He said that Boubacar Kamara is the Rodri for Villa.
That is correct. Look what happens when he went down. He tore his ACL last season, and they struggled a lot without him. Then he's been out and consistent with injury. That's why those Luiz worked so well as kind of the pivot beside him because he had that ability to go forward. Where Onana isn't doing that this season with Kamara. That's why Onana scored a couple times from open play, and of course in set pieces. It's just a main mountain, and he's been out injured as well. So their whole. I feel like they've been missing a center back this whole season. Basically, they're starting pivots and their winger, which again is no excuse because they do have decent depth for a team challenging those European spots. But especially with all the high expectation from finishing in 4th place last season, because that they were so healthy. So
yeah,
like Max says about City, the burnout came for them 5 seasons afterwards, and with teams like Villa, after they always have a good season, always happens the season afterwards. Like
it's like the same shit. Newcastle,
Newcastle.
This year's even
Brighton. Leicester after they won the league.
Leicester, I
No.
think they won the league. I mean,
No,
they stuck around for a little bit.
No,
I mean, like a tiny
Leicester
bit.
going into the Champions League hurt them more than them winning the league.
Not really. I mean, it didn't help, but it was the factors that some of these teams run into. Is we were like, okay, we got to get these guys in to help with the Champions League, and the issue is the guys we got in weren't good, like that, and that set us back. I mean, we went to the damn quarterfinals. I mean, so it's like can't be too bad.
I remember that season too. I think it's a little bit of the recruitment, and like you're seeing some of that with City too, right? Like you can get signings wrong, and like they may look good, like as a flash in the pan for a season, and then afterward, when they have to actually put it all together without some of their best players like Rodri or KDB, it's like it doesn't work. I don't know what the hell's going on here. So
if you think about it, all of City's recent signs have been flops. Like Grealish is on the verge. I think if he doesn't pull out a masterclass,
No. He's not on the verge. He's a fucking flop. Let's be honest.
I'm saying that if he
No. He's a flop. You cannot.
So if he gets 20 GAs from January until June, he's had 2 good seasons out of 4. He's not a flop.
I'll tell you right now, he's not getting that.
I bet you $500 he's not going to do that.
Probably not, but I've seen worse happen. Even Jack Grealish his one good season, he didn't kick on until January, until the squad depth was called upon. He started.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point.
So.
I mean, it's fair,
Nunez, apart from now,
Darwin's 1,000% a flop, and I got that one wrong. I thought when
I'm talking about Matthias Nunez.
He's talking about Matthias.
Oh, Matthias Nunez. Well, both Nunez's are fucking flops, by the way.
Then who else did they sign? Kovacic has been mid. He's only been decent because they just had so many.
I think the issue with Kovacic is that he's been playing out of position the entire time he's in City.
Yeah.
So I give a little grace to him because he's been playing out of position the entire time. It's not his fault.
Savinho haven't done as expected.
Savinho hasn't scored a goal.
Guys, hold on. Let's get to City here at the end. We'll get to them. For this game specifically with Nottingham Forest and Villa, I think that last point that Austin made about like Kamara is interesting. I won't fully agree with it like Coppin did, but I do see the point. Like he was like having a defensive mid like that in your system alleviates pressure from almost everybody else around him. I think with this game, I'm gonna straight up hate on Austin and pick Forest. How are you guys looking?
I'm leaning Forest, but I'm also leaning a draw.
Yeah, I'm back in the draw.
Ooh, a draw. Okay.
Well, as y'all may know, I may or may not like Forest.
As we may know.
But also, before Forest got promoted, Villa was our biggest.
You're a Villa hater too?
So I don't like Villa either. So therefore, I'm going to go a draw because I don't want any of these teams winning.
Bro, you might be a bigger hater than both.
You have 3 draws in Forest?
Isn't like Villa? What did Villa do to you?
Is it a Midlands thing? Like what?
Yeah,
is
it's a Midlands thing.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Because like West Brom, Derby, Villa, they're all.
Yeah, I'm gonna go draw.
Bruh. Okay, I'm going Villa win then. Screw you guys. I'm being different.
I literally said
There it is. I like that.
Go
I like that.
Go right ahead.
give me Villa win now. Watch this like seal my 5 out of 5.
Oh God, bro! If he gets this, it's gonna be unbearable. Austin,
it's already unbearable.
You're back in Villa.
Nah, it could be worse.
Or a draw here.
No, draw.
All right, 2 draws. Somebody's gonna win. 2 draws, a Forest win, a Villa
So we
win.
need, after all of us picking Arsenal, Liverpool, we need to spice it up a bit.
Yeah, we do need to spice it up a bit. I'm glad that if that one would have been all the same, I'd have been like chalk this whole fucking episode. All right, let's go into the relegation battle. We don't do this often on Yanks at the Roundtable, so I'm excited to have this conversation.
Especially talk.
My kind of Hoffman would disagree. He would say Leicester are not in that relegation battle. But either way, Wolves hosting Ipswich Town at a time where I will now confidently say Gary O'Neill probably gone after what happened against West Ham. The players' heads are gone.
Surely they're not sacking him after with Ipswich coming up.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. But I think when you see scenes of Mario Lemina,
better time.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a better time either. You kind of want to. I don't know how quickly they can find a replacement. Like maybe before this last game against West Ham would have made more sense. But either way, I think when you see scenes of Mario Lemina fighting teammates, coaches, basically anybody in front of him after the game, it kind of says everything you need to say about Wolves, right? It's like as much as I love Gary
strong.
O'Neill, as much as I think he was underrated for what this team was doing last season, they've had one of the most just horrid starts you could have to a season this season at 2-3-10. So literally not even double-digit points yet. There's a good excuse, I guess, for Ipswich Town. There's not a good excuse for Wolves. But nonetheless, 18th versus 19th in the league. One loss to West Ham, at West Ham, one loss to Bournemouth, right? And I would say both have a somewhat prolific player in the attacking side as far as the threat goes. You have Cunha on one side and Liam Delap on the other. And so if you look at this game, how are we feeling about it, lads? How are we feeling? I know Hoffa doesn't back Ipswich at all.
I can't believe that one wins against fucking Spurs as well.
That's crazy that the one win is against Spurs. That's some Spursy shit going on down there in North London. But nonetheless, a lot of draws and 9 points per team here. So does anybody think Wolves can bounce back?
Yes,
They have to.
They can with the opposition.
I'm definitely back to
can.
Wolves in this game. At the Molyneux against a weaker side, they need to win. I think they'll definitely bounce back in this game.
Well, it's like, I mean, the issue for Wolves, and we're talking about like sacking Gary O'Neill. They have Ipswich, then at Leicester, then United, then Tottenham. That's rounding
It's
out.
an impossible run. Holy, I think like the schedule absolutely.
So they got 2 relegation battles and then 2
bro.
top 6 battles. Like, I mean, do you stick with Gary through the 2 relegation battles, and then if he loses, then you sack him, and you're like, well, it's a free shot against the top 6 anyway. So to me, the vibes at Wolves are just so down bad. But Ipswich not exactly playing great either.
I feel like Ipswich is not playing great, but they're not playing bad. Like they're
not
competitive in all their matches. Like,
Yeah,
it's
they're not out there.
They're like
getting pumped.
they're not
like a Luton competitive.
Luton, but
Luton was competitive, bro. That's the level. I don't know. Well, do you not agree that Luton was more competitive in the second half of the season? Like the first half, it didn't feel maybe that way. I kind of feel like we saw them really turn the corner after the holidays.
I think they were losing a lot of games narrowly before the holidays. Like I remember them just losing to Spurs like the first 4 games of the season. I think like the second.
Were they throwing games in the second half where they had a lead, right? Like they had a lead and they would start throwing some of these games.
Mm-hmm.
So at least they were like at least exciting, competitive. I see a lot of Ipswich fans say that they're good. They think they'll stay up the season because of McKenna, and I've not seen nothing from them to give me any sort of belief or vision that they can stay up. I think they're shooting to go down. And I think this is actually the perfect game for Wolves to bounce back. You could not have asked for an easier game. The worst team in the league at home. This is beyond preferred bounce back, and this might keep maybe O'Neill in a job into the new year. I'm looking at their schedule. They don't have a decent run until like March where they play Southampton and Ipswich back to back in the Premier League, of course. And their runs, it's I don't know what computer made their schedule, but
they said fuck Wolves.
They said, boy, y'all were great last season. We're gonna have to humble you this season a little bit. My God. But
they've been great
I'd
for
be
a
shocked.
while. Like they were constantly battling for European spots.
Mm-hmm. They're
Like,
still a good team. Like they're on.
Yeah,
like, again,
they still have guys.
Yeah, I just think that in those close games where you expect them to compete, things haven't gone their way. So that's why they can walk away with a draw. I think a lot of their draws are coming against those teams that are up equal level to them. But I think of course they don't win this game, O'Neill should and probably will be sacked. I think a draw is only realistic if Ipswich just nick a draw at the end with Wolves, like winning maybe 1-0, something like that. But I'm fairly confident that Wolves will get over the line. I feel like they can't compete. They're a good team, and when they face a team that they are superior of, I feel they can definitely show their dominance and their skills.
All right. So Hoffa's going with a Wolves win at Molyneux. Respectable, of course.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to go with the draw. I think the biggest reason that I'm leaning on that result is the Brighton game recently. I thought Ipswich played decent. I thought that they have moments in these games that they just don't take advantage of.
They don't take advantage,
Yeah, I'm waiting for that part to click maybe in the second half of the season, and maybe McKenna can keep this team in the Premier League. I'm not really sure. It's a long shot right now. But in this one-off game, like I think for Wolves to get the dub, they will have to rely on their big playmakers. And right now, I used to say Lamina definitely was that guy, but his head looks so gone after what just happened at West Ham. I'm sure he'll bounce back in a week's time, of course. But I just feel like I don't know. Like I feel like their mental is all over the place right now.
I'm gonna back a draw, mainly due to the fact that from what I see in the end of today's game, it's just like it should trickle down effect. Like when players lose their heads, it doesn't go away in a week. Like when you lose a locker room, you've lost a locker room. So unless there's a change, I don't think anything's going to change for Wolves. So it's kind of the same. I cannot see Gary O'Neill if he doesn't get fired now, and he doesn't and he lasts if there's a draw after this game, I don't know what Wolves are going to do. I mean, I don't see what their vision is, because I mean there are some decent managers that are still kind of available that are the Wolves level, like Moyes and Potter. Like there's decent managers, but
Potter ain't taking the Wolves job.
that's not a bad job for him to take, to be honest. I mean,
He
I don't know.
rejected like 8 better jobs before that. It'd be so hypocritical of him to take that job.
But then what job would he take? Because he's not getting the England job.
No, for sure. I mean, wait for West Ham to sack him, maybe Crystal Palace, someone like that, where at least the squad is more competitive, more united, and you have maybe.
I think this Wolves team is. I think this Wolves team is not that.
Keep in mind, Wolves have not won summer, if I'm not mistaken. They've barely invested in their squad that has been doing well. They signed the Brazilian midfielder Andre, and that was, I think, it. So they're relying a lot on what they have.
Wait, when did Max Kilman leave? Was it this past season?
This past summer,
this past season.
With the West
Ham
lost
his
masterpiece.
Killed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think with Kilman, just even that, like keeping him in the side would have been huge for Wolves. At least just keeping other teams at bay. Yeah, I kind of agree with everything you guys just said. I think it's I don't know. Last question before we move on, and I'll get Austin's his prediction as well. But if Wolves don't get 3 points at Molineux in this one for whatever reason, O'Neill's gone. If he's not gone before then,
he should absolutely be gone. I'm surprised. I won't be surprised if he's gone in the morning. Like,
yeah, I won't either.
Yeah,
it was outside.
The thing is, if they don't get it, if they don't get 3 points this game, they still have a week before they play us. But then it just goes to midweek games all the time. Whereas if you at least get a new manager in on a full week, that will help a lot. Just giving them more time. So
yeah,
I mean,
what's your prediction, Austin?
For Leicester City, we need a draw. That would be ideal. But I think Ipswich, I don't think they're down bad, because I think they know like who they are, and like they were probably coming up knowing they might get relegated. So I think in spirits wise, they're still good. So I think they can nick a win here. So I'm going to pick them to win.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Put your balls on the table. I like it. Yeah. So look, again, another match where there has to be a winner amongst the group. We'll see how it goes. And then finally, man, while I will say the kind of the platter of matches for this week, if you will, isn't necessarily the most appetizing, there is a huge game this week for a number of reasons, right? The Manchester Derby. And I feel like, it's a really interesting time for this version of Manchester United to be traveling to the Etihad for this game. Interesting time for City as well, but we'll talk about that for a different reason. You know what's crazy is, like, as much as I dragged Ten Hag and his tenure at Manchester United, this dude had City's number. He had it, bro. Like, so much so that, like, there's like a weird type of pressure on Amorim for this game. I don't know why. I look at this and I'm thinking, dude, if you can't at a minimum do what Ten Hag was doing, like, I don't know, man. Fans are not necessarily the most patient, especially United fans. I would say Arsenal fans are kind of the same way. Not necessarily the most patient, and I don't know. I think it's not a concern. I don't think United fans are necessarily concerned. They know that they're going to be suffering a little bit longer because of just when Amorim came into the side. But I don't know, man. This is still a big game for a lot of reasons, the biggest of which I think are just what his predecessor was doing, right? What Ten Hag was able to do, even with bad versions of United against, honestly, like supreme Man City. Not this version of Man City, but like in the FA Cup final City, top of the table City. Like Ten Hag was still able to get wins. There are some big losses in there, but for the most part, I think he kind of had Pep's number a little bit. So looking at this game now, Pep's obviously in a position where, I don't know if you guys saw the video, where he kind of got charged up a little bit by a random fan on the camera. Like
I still don't know which game that's from. I've seen like 8 different clips of saying 8 different games. Like people said it was a Liverpool game. People said it was the FA Cup final last year. Some people said it was
Yeah, I don't know.
loss to Spurs. Could be
Honestly,
5 years ago,
bro,
all I know.
I almost like people are like, this is a bad look for Pep. Maybe
Mhm.
I'm too much of a shithouse. I respect it. I'm like, dude, if Pep's ready to throw hands, I want that dude as my manager. That's all.
Yeah, I would say fans gotta people gotta really just chill the fuck out.
Chill the fuck out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chill out.
If they really wanted to, and I wish people like more like athletes and manager coaches like would just fucking deck somebody, I would love to see it. Because
Facts.
back in the 90s, early 2000s, that shit didn't fly because those players would fucking kill you.
Yeah. Social media wasn't a thing, and no one
Yeah,
could prove
there
it.
was-
So
no one could prove it, That was in every sport.
no one could prove
I'd
it.
love to see. I would love to see a clip.
Hey,
of
Ron
Fabregas when he
Artest
played
literally.
Sterling.
And Ron Artest literally. If you don't know who Ron Artest is, watch Indiana Pacers. Ron Artest.
Watch the Malice of the Palace.
Malice at the Palace.
Ron's-
That shit.
Or
Fans need to be held
Cantona.
to a
Or
standard. I
Cantona
agree with
just
that.
kicking a
Or-
supporter at Sowards.
If you have no idea what they're talking about, make sure you drop a like on the video down below.
Hey, facts.
Facts. But
I like that shout out.
but yeah, this is gonna be an interesting game because this is this is a good time to play City, man. As bad as United is, as bad as we are, this is the perfect time to play City. And I hope I hope KDB. I don't know what they're gonna do with KDB this week. I don't know if they're gonna play because this is a big match for them this week. They play Juventus, right?
I think.
Yeah, and then
I think so,
Yeah.
And then so I don't know if they're gonna rest KDB midweek or play him for the derby because that's more important.
Well,
So-
they're not exactly safe in the Champions League either.
They're
Yeah,
not.
that's what I'm
They
saying.
need
They're
to
not
win.
either.
Like they're at the bottom.
They
Yeah,
have
so
to win. They have
so
to
this
win.
They have to.
mhm,
Then you have United who play away from him on Thursday, and they need to win as well. So maybe it works a bit.
Let me ask you. So, based on recent history and this fixture specifically, do you guys start Marcus Rashford in this game?
I think
Probably. That's the one time he
think
shows
does.
up. Then he goes to
I think- I
parties
think-
and
I think you do.
I think you just have to rely on talent. Like
And
you gotta,
as I've been telling you guys for as long as we've been doing these videos, think about Marcus Rashford. Marcus is a guy who can change games out of nowhere.
once a year. Yeah.
You could say once a year, but you
Bro
could
has
say
not turned up since we've done this show once. Like I'm just saying.
he scored in the first game at Marines. He scored 2 goals, his
Oh.
first home game.
So
So
how many goals did he get that season? Like 6, 7? Like he's just
I'm not talking about last season. I'm talking about this season.
shite, man. I mean, I think he's one of the most overrated players.
Listen,
of our life.
I'm a Marcus Rashford. He's been my favorite United players
He
since
got sold the dream.
he got there. But I
The
mean,
Mac Borden bread to the Mac Borden flop.
you
Prefers
could-
to drink than to play.
it just
football.
for Marcus Rashford, it just seems like he's like the love for football. Sometimes it's just gone. Like
he's
it's
still
just,
only 27.
I agree with that. It does feel like sometimes it's just like a job to him.
yeah. It just feels like
You know what's the
it
worst thing
just-
about
it
him?
just-
They'll go in the media. Oh, I love United. Oh, I just tried to be a footballer all my life. Oh, this, all that. So he plays the character of being a Mac Borden bred, want to die for this club. Then they lose a game. He'll score some, knuckleball that he don't think he has in his locker nowadays. Then he'll go and party the next day and then drop stinkers
Think
for
of
like 3
the
months.
thing
in a
about
row.
players like that. They always have that. They always have that shit in their arsenal. Like it's just,
Yeah.
it's just,
It's like
it's just,
Valverde
it's just
for-
like the,
for
it's just like
Madrid.
the moment of brilliance that some of these athletes have. Like if they have been so out of form and it's just to have that one moment that just changes everything, or just
I
changes for the game, that helps. But just, I mean, that happened last year against City. He had, I
Mhm.
mean, we didn't win the game at the end, but he started off the game with a banger.
2 years ago, it happened at Arsenal.
Yeah,
Like when that
it's
purple
hard-
patch
yeah.
started, that 2-month run of just him being unstoppable, it was it started in the Arsenal game.
it
Where he
started in the
scored the
Arsenal
first
game.
20 minutes, and then it just started this run of games where he was the only one scoring for United.
So, but yeah, this is an interesting game. It depends on. I mean, Amorim's always going to be rotating squad. So, I honestly I can't even keep track of what he's what ideas he's going to have for midweek versus this weekend.
But will he take a lot of risks in this game?
In this game, I think he's gonna. He might go Cass and Ugarte against City. I
Two
think that's.
destroyers.
I think that's what he. I feel like that's what he more might lean to because what we saw against Forest was the worst I've ever seen some of these United players.
I think he's still experimenting, though. I mean,
I mean,
didn't mind it all that much, but
he's experimenting, but it's just you could just see how frustrated he is because yeah, he's experimenting, but it's not like they didn't work on what they were supposed to do in this game, and like the amount of frustration that I was and that I could see from him, it's just like it was terrible, it was awful, and then Onana's mistake, but that ball, I don't know, yeah, he could have saved that, but the way Morgan gets hit that ball was a little, I don't know.
Now it's like you're going on. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a way to
and it comes the week after Max claimed him to be the best keeper in the league.
He made one mistake. I can go back and fucking find. I can go back and find fucking every.
No, I'm fucking trolling you. I just thought that was crazy timing. I was like,
it was crazy timing because once that happened, I was like, shit, Jose's gonna fucking troll the shit out of me this next.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I think I'm gonna back my team to win this because just how bad City has been playing, and I feel like this is the game we have to take advantage of that, and come off a brutal home loss against Nottingham Forest. So I could see us winning the game. As hopefully, I feel like they're gonna start KDB and not starting for the derby because I feel like they still want Champions League more.
When was the last time United won a Big Six game?
Chelsea.
This season?
Chelsea last year? Oh, this season? No, we haven't won in this season. We've only played Arsenal in
it would be the Man City derby was in the cup.
Yeah.
They played Liverpool and Arsenal.
We played
Spurs.
We drew to Liverpool last year at home, but we beat them in the FA Cup.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
going here.
I'm gonna back City for this game for the exact opposite reason that Max mentioned. I think if United won that game against Forest, I think I would be more in favor of backing them, not even a draw. But I think that defeat is gonna hinder them down a bit. Then they have to go crappy Europa League game on a Thursday as well. Then travel back to Manchester.
But you got to remember with our United players, even whoever the opponent is, whether they're shit or not, like a win is like such a big morale booster for us.
Really
I know, but like it's just, I feel like both teams will score. I think it'll be a high scoring game. I think United might even take the lead that they did with the Rashford goal. What was it, last season or what? But I just feel like City are gonna have that bone to pick, especially with them coming off the back of the draw against Crystal Palace. I also believe if they lose the game against Juventus or don't win it, it'll give them even more of an incentive. And if they do win it, it'll give them an incentive as well. I think regardless, they're going to be coming to this game with like an extra point to prove because they're like, okay, Liverpool game, we're kind of expected to lose. The Palace game was kind of out of nowhere, even though I predicted it. This is like your rival in a derby where you are the superior teams, despite, losing 7 out of whatever game or 6 losses out of 7. They're still the superior team regardless. That's how poor United have been more so, but also how good City are as a team still. So that's why I would back City. I feel like a draw is probably the highest probability in this game, but I'm going to back City because I already picked the draw. So that's
fair enough.
That's my mindset.
I kind of agree with Hoppet, but what I will say to add on to that, just the last point, is that Amorim has already gotten experience against this City side this season. Different team, right? It was a sport.
Different players for me is the main issue.
Yeah, true. But I still think you can get a good sense of what Pep's going to throw at you. And for that reason, I think that the experimentation probably stops with this game. I think he's probably going to go with who he genuinely believes gives them the best chance to win for the reasons that Max cited. It's crazy what one derby win like this will do for the players' mentalities, for the fans at the stadium, for everything that we know Manchester United is right now, right? They're fully in a rebuild mode. This is the lowest they've been on the table since like the 70s. And with that said, one big win or even a draw against City, and fans have something a little bit more to grasp onto as they work their way through the holidays, through Europa League, and into the second half of the season. So, and I mean, frankly, just to be a little bit different than both of you guys have already gone, I'm gonna back a draw. I always back City to win this game, but United has tested that theory so many times in recent seasons that I feel like this could be a good pick. So I'm gonna go with the draw.
Well, as someone who has routinely stuck by City's side,
here it goes. Go ahead, Austin. Pick City. Let's move on.
Yep.
Imagine how terrible it would be if you pick United and City win. Like if I'm Austin, I'll probably do the same thing. Just ride the City storm until they win.
Dude, I'm just gonna ride City the rest of the night. I'm already neck deep in this. Like We're gonna
Yeah.
ride it. It's just I mean, honestly, I don't know because to me it depends on if KDB shows up. If KDB plays, if he plays, I think they got a shot. City right now, we just don't know. But I think United right now, we just don't know. So I'm just gonna go. It's a home game at City. They're gonna feel the pressure. Maybe that atmosphere for once will be good.
There'll be nobody there. So good.
Yeah,
Be nobody
yeah,
fucking
probably.
empty
But
The empty head. All right, fair.
yeah, I'll just go City because we're already doing it.
Low
so.
key, that joke is so dead now.
Neville's still using it on stream, bro. You see the watch along for the overlap?
I know.
They said there's like 30,000 people in here. They were like,
Hoffman,
this
you
is
heard?
bigger than the
Hoffman,
empty
you
head,
heard
bro.
about the empty head? I knew. It's all right.
No,
That triggered something. Guys, see,
we
see how
stepped on some toes. We stepped on some toes. With the
see how
City fans.
fast he said, "Oh, that joke's so dead."
well, because I watched the game and I see this empty head full, so it's just like when it was actually empty, it made sense and it was funny. But now,
I mean,
like,
of
10
course
years
you
later,
would be defensive on this.
Of course he'd be defensive.
I mean, of course.
Of course. You got so triggered about the empty head, man.
Yeah. This is a big game for Hoffman and Max this week for both of them. As
Oh
avid,
my God,
avid Manchester.
Wait,
fans.
Barcelona play on Sunday, so I won't even watch this game.
Stop. Don't lie.
Unless
to
the
the
game
audience,
is
bro.
earlier.
Look, guys.
11:30. Ooh,
I
maybe
mean,
I can
you
actually catch
can't miss watching your team, Hoffman.
That's true.
I
true.
know.
And
I
frankly,
mean, it's a
at this
pretty-
point, Austin's quickly approaching on Hoffman territory. He's already firmly said he's going to back City regardless of opponent the rest of the season. So
Hey, I said City would lose against Liverpool, and that got me the 5 out of 5. So I mean,
that is true. But I will say you
Back
are
with him to
realistic
lose?
about your
Maybe.
teams sometimes.
I always back Barca till I die.
I know you're a simp in that way.
Facts.
All right, man. Well, guys, we're gonna call the video here. It's been a fun one, man. Definitely more fun than some of the other bitter weeks I've had to deal with throughout the season, and even with the way Arsenal are playing. I thoroughly had a good time on this episode. So, guys in the audience, if you haven't done so already, do me a quick favor: like the video down below, subscribe to Goals TV, and comment down below. Let us know what your predictions look like. I mentioned it before. Maybe not the spiciest agenda of matches or schedule of matches for this week, but that Manchester derby. Depending on what happens, depending on how well Amorim can get his men up for this match, you never know, man. We might have a lot to talk about for game week 17 here on Goals TV. All right. So, for everybody here at Yanks at the Roundtable, my name is Jose. That's Austin. That's Hoffman. That's Max. We'll catch you guys next time.